Hey, Dave, Fix and Fly RC here. Hey, next step in repairing the A-10. If you recall, maybe from a previous video, at ESC, go out, had a problem. Only had one motor running, didn't have enough power to fly the plane. Went in and actually ripped the two mains out and actually stripped the wire right out of the retracts, and I had to open it up and resolder those and got those back in because these are $120, I think, to replace. So got those working, got the ESC replaced, and the motors are working. So the next thing I needed to do was work on the front landing gear. And when it hit, it actually bent the pin, and I'll show you that in a minute. But in the retract here, there's a pin that goes right here, and the gear slides over the top of that and tightens down on this little flat right here. This pin right here was bent, and it was beyond the ability to bend it back and to put it back. So originally I thought, oh, well, I could just replace this pin. Maybe they sold replacements or something. So I took it apart and found out this was a different kind of pin than a lot of the pins you see. A lot of people will just buy a metal dowel rod or something and ground some flights in it. But if you can see in this pin right here, there's this little step right here. And what happens is that slides up through the bottom of the retract, and here's the knuckle from the old retract, and this pin goes up through the bottom. It may not fit just right, but it goes up from the bottom, and that little flat sets right there. And what that does is that it allows when you're turning, it allows this to turn for the front steering. So I contacted FMS. I asked them about buying a new pin, and they said, no, you can't buy just the pin. You got to buy the whole retract. I think this was $36, I think, maybe. So got to put that in. Well, I'll show you some close-ups here in a second. But I had bought this off Marketplace, and quite honestly, I guess I didn't look at the bottom side of this close enough. And this plane had obviously been crashed before, and all of the front stuff is missing. There's some engineering, I guess you would call it, for the push rod for the gear and stuff there. But I thought, well, I've got it. Well, I'm into it this deep. I think I'm gonna, just for practice, I think I'm gonna give this plane like a whole new paint job. I wanna practice little things I've been seeing like on RC Geek and some others. So, really clean it up, maybe come up with a different paint scheme. So I'll be looking at that. But I want to go ahead and put, the doors and the retracts, and with the retract and stuff on there. So I went ahead and bought it's a front landing cover. And I'll show you here in a second. This was missing one thing that I really needed, so I might have to figure that out. But let me pause and show you something here. Okay, so you can see this is pretty well messed up here, and you can see here there's a piece that actually is supposed to go in. This is supposed to slide in. There's something underneath here that's supposed to slide in, and this right here is what connects to the steering rod for the servo. So here's the steering servo, and that's what pushes the gear around right there. So what you're going to see here that I'm going to have to replace, you see this little broken piece right here. This is part of the doors, or it's actually got a single door that closed. So the door, here's the new door, and it's gonna, you can see where it broke off, there's a piece of plastic right there. So this door is going to fit like that, and it's just going to close over, well, you can see it'll close. So there's that single door that closes, and the kit comes with the plastic part that goes here, and you're going to notice there's actually a little hole in there, and that's there for a reason. That's so you can get to the little grub screw right here if you need to straighten up your landing gear. And then the part that I'm gonna have to replace is this, where the steering servo goes in right here. And what you're gonna see here is this little lever arm that's missing. Apologize for the video. And so the way this gear works, well, let me swap this around so I can use my hands. Okay, so the way this particular Retract works is, so you see this door right here. There's a little hole right there, and there's going to be a spring that ties to there, and it ties up to this plastic piece right here that I was showing you that had the hole in it. There's another little hole right there. So there's going to be a spring that ties between those two guys. And so when the gear comes down, when the gear lowers, it's going to push down. Let me get this way. So it's going to push down on this door like this. And on this side right here, you'll see this other little hole. And what you'll see here, I'm not going to take it out of the bag for now, but you see this little clevis. There's this little clevis, and in the rod right there. Apologize for that. And it will attach to the door. There's a little hole right there. And so what happens is, when that gear goes down and it pushes this down, that clevis is going to pull that down on the door, down like that. So the gear is going to push that down. Now when the gear goes up, that spring that was here is going to pull this up, and it's literally going to push the door back open. So when the gear is retracted, it'll be like that, and or extended, and then when it's retracted, again, it's going to push down on that. That clevis is going to pull the door down, and it'll sit like that. So that's how that works. It's pretty simple, and so sometimes simple is good, and less parts and stuff like that. So the parts that's missing, and I'll show you this. Okay, so the part that's missing, there's a cover that goes right here, and this is not the right one, but it's similar to this. This is for the back wheels, for the gears. This was some spare parts he sent, and so this is kind of like the air brake that goes on, and so this part's missing. And so the kit comes with a new door, but the problem is this right here is thinner than that right there, so it won't fit. So I may have to try to maybe put something in there and see if I, or down on the bottom down here, and like close the gap a little bit. Maybe I can make something work. So I'm gonna have to play with that to see if I can get that part to work. I'd love to have the whole thing working. I've got a call out on Facebook to see if anybody maybe happen to have a 3D file of this that I could print, because I'm sure you can't buy just that. It probably comes with the fuselage. So anyway, okay, so what I'm going to have to do then is, you're going to see this is going to have to come off right there, and it'll just kind of, we'll have to glue that back on right there. And what I'll have to do is I'll have to take, I'm going to go ahead and take that screw out for the push rod, or the, just left me, but you know what it is. And these two screws out, pull the servo out. I'll have to pry this out, get this broke off, because it's glued in place, I'm sure. Then I'll put that one back, glue it back in place, let the glue dry, reapply all that. I will glue that back on. I will also, probably can't do it here without tearing it up, but I will remove some tape or something right there. I will take that off, glue the other door back on, and hook that up. And I'll at least get this part of the plane as close as it can. Like I said, this is, I forgot the nose I got to glue on, but I mean, you can see it's kind of ugly, but it flies when I was flying it, and it flew good. So hopefully it'll fly as good as it did before. So anyway, that's the next step on getting the A-10. And again, when you get in this hobby, bad things happen sometimes. Sometimes just completely out of your control. And I've seen guys that will just toss a plane that's broken and won't even try to fix it because they don't like the way it looks, or it's not their thing. They just want to fly. And if that's your thing, that's your thing. I've always enjoyed working and building things, so I'm a mechanical engineer by trade, so it's just I've always liked doing things with my hands. So this is a little bit of a challenge, gives me some things to do at night. And I will get back with you as soon as I get some pieces together and see what it looks like. Okay, well, there's a little bit of good news and there's a little bit of bad news in this attempt to repair. But let me show you the good part. So as I was talking about earlier, so the way the door closes, you have this arm right here, it attaches to the door here and attaches, and you'll see there's a spring right there. So what happens is when the door shuts, it pushes down on that, closes the door, and then when the door opens back up, the spring pulls us up. So it's how the door opens and closes. The bad news is whoever had wrecked this plane before had done a lot more damage, I guess, than I had thought originally, and used some kind of like spray foam or hard foam in here. And when they put the holding bracket for this retract back in, it's up too tall, so it's not allowing the gear to go all the way down. So you can see here that the gear is sitting up and it's flush. It's as far down as here as it'll go, so it won't set down any further. And the only way to fix it would be to try to dig this out and set it back down. That's going to be way more than I want to do. But you can also, because it doesn't go down far enough, it's not pushing the door down. So the option I have, of course, even if I did it, the door's not going to close, so it's going to look like that. So that's not really that good. So I could maybe try to put like something in right here that would come down and push on the door and do it like that. But I think what I'm going to do, it was, the kit costs about $7. I guess it was worth a shot. I did have to replace this and take some things apart. And what I did do, by the way, if you're just having to do this on your own, this was still glued down really good. And I was just able to take this door off the other holding plastic piece here and just put it back on the one that was already glued down, so I didn't have to tear anything up trying to unglue that. So if you're in a situation where you've had a bad landing and this has gotten broken and you want to repair, I mean, it's not that bad. You have to do a little work depending on what's broken, what you have to replace, but you can see how the door should work. I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this off and just leave it like it is and fly it. And like I said before, I mean, you can see this plane is pretty rough, and I think I'm going to do a trial of really trying to like clean up these surfaces and put filler in and then sand it down real good and repaint it and just kind of see what that'll look like. So anyway, I gave it a shot, and sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't, but did get the new retracts in there, got this in there, got the light fixed, so I do have my light. As I mentioned, these gears, the wires on the retracts had been completely stripped out. Took the retract apart, soldered them back in place, got that. So got those gears, got the mains in here. So she's ready to fly again. As soon as we get some weather here where things will work out, I'll take her out and give her another, I guess, another maiden. But anyway, hope that helps anybody that's ever got to try to fix the front end of this. You can kind of see how it goes. It's not that complicated, and sometimes simple is good. In this case, it just didn't work out. So Hey, Dave here with Fix and Fly. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up or comment. Appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.